everyone, and welcome to Patch Notes, Season 2, Episode 6, with Spino, Vindy, and Wolfclock. Wolfclock and Vindy, how are we today?
I'm good.
Yeah. You're not feeling like 80% power? You're feeling a hundo?
Like 70, maybe.
70? Yeah.
Forrest is a little tired.
Tired?
Spinoza,
recovering.
Recovering. Spinozone's voice is almost gone.
Allergies have ravaged everything north of my neck.
Yeah. Wow. And
not my brain. Maybe my brain. I don't know. You will see, audience.
I just came back. I just got here from a house filled with a screaming 2.5-year-old for the last 3 hours.
Congrats.
Everything's just making her mad.
Congrats on getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I could have brought my wife with me. Just let her play TFT over there in peace.
Yeah.
At the fabulous Edge Gamers Lounge.
You know, I hear that's a really cool place that also has had a recent upgrade or feature.
Ready? I don't think that was ready yet.
No, what has party room is done.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's functional.
Oh, nice.
But that's
should we come back to it in order so that it can be a really good ad later? Okay.
Yeah, the party room is functional. We've had some parties in there.
Hey.
He is right. I was putting together the PCs, sorry. That's what Forrest and I were thinking when you said upgrade.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But the party room is done, and it's pretty good. It has no decorations in it yet, and it still has a little bit of mudding left. But, you know, it's 90% there as in functionality. Oh, we've already had like 5 parties in there.
Oh, my God. I didn't know it was like that done. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, we have a 75-inch U8, and the FGC players, some of the combos and Tekken and stuff, it was flashbanging the whole room. Like,
that's kind of cool.
Caleb was saying that people were like, oh, like they were audible, like, whoa, like it was that bright.
So,
I'll
show
you guys.
Bi-weeklies in there now?
Yeah, because it's big enough.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Right.
Have you not even seen it? Like, it's
not
done
finished.
I haven't seen it finished either.
Yeah, we'll go.
I need to have a party.
Yeah,
I haven't been here since our
It's
last
almost
podcast.
It's almost 400 square feet.
Yeah. That's really lit.
So,
that's one of my king rooms.
So we got a 30,000 game arcade cabinet coming soon. Nice. With IR guns and 4-player joysticks and all that stuff.
4-player?
About time the arcade has an
actual cabinet.
Yeah,
we used to have a cabinet here that was hooked up to an Xbox, but
Yeah.
this will be a PC-based emulator.
I do remember being at the desk a couple of times when people stumble in and they're like, hey, so you have like Pac-Man, right?
Where's the pinball?
Yeah.
By the way,
Funny
pinball
times.
used to be gambling. I learned this,
Really?
and that's why it is still banned in many counties.
Even though you can't win anything, or
So
did
it
you
would,
used to be able to win things?
It would give you money? Like
yeah,
for
it was
winning or
basically
something?
just gambling, and so to get around it, the mob controlled it heavily.
Oh.
To get around it, they added the flippers to make it a game of skill.
Oh, so you would just see how long until your ball when the
it would just be random chance on like how
like
it went
Plinko.
and all that.
It was pretty much Plinko.
Yeah. But adding the flippers in
hella
made
better.
it.
Bring
They
back
could
your
argue it was a
cash
game of
back. Come
skill.
on.
It is still banned in many U.S. counties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but given
To this
that
day in 2024.
given how Wisconsin feels about bar dice, I feel like we should be an AOK
Wisconsin's
state.
good,
Yeah.
but like New York, there are a lot of like places in New York that all their pinball machines were destroyed, confiscated.
Yeah.
Was there any? Was there ever a time where a pinball with the flippers gave cash back for winning?
I don't know.
Once it became
I
a
don't know.
skill-based
I don't
game?
know. All I know is that it was originally made as a gambling, like a casino type thing.
Because I always thought that'd be really neat in casinos for there to be actual skill-based games where you could earn your money back, right?
I think that's precisely
I'm sure
why they
casino would
don't.
love for a
Yeah.
skill-based player.
They
to
do.
come in.
Yeah, that's the opposite
But
of what
like,
they want.
if you made it like
For those of our viewers who don't know-
though,
If you made it crazy challenging, then
that's what I'm saying.
then
With
it
like
might-
some luck factors involved.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, it still has an amazing amount of luck to
Yeah.
play pinball.
But I'm saying even a digital game, you know,
like TFT.
not that complicated, right?
Okay.
Something that maybe would be like either based on reflex or just like some tactical thing, but like very arcade style, something you could sit down, play for 5 minutes.
That could be good.
Oh, I lost my $10, or hey, I just made $20. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
That could be good.
Oh, this is so nice to be able to just
Yeah.
adjust in my seat with the headset.
Oh yeah. That's so true. It feels liberating.
Yeah. So what are you playing this week?
Yeah, what are we
these
playing?
last 2 weeks? David?
First week, like 2 weeks ago, I was playing this really cool horror game called Paranormicite. I don't really watch horror movies. I used to be very afraid of them. Now I like thrillers, so maybe I'd be okay with a horror movie. And I've watched 2 horror movies at 3x speed, and it's not nearly as horrifying. So I'm like, maybe the real thing wouldn't be that bad. But I do like thrillers. This game had some really good jump scares in it. Toward the end, there were fewer, but hair was standing on end for me playing this game. And there were the setup is that you're in this one district of Tokyo, and it's this one really fateful night where these 9 curses appear and to curse users, and any curse user can curse another curse user or another person. But you get more soul dregs if you kill a cursed user, and once you get to 100 soul dregs, you can perform this rite of resurrection that there's much mystique about, right? And the game is playing as you start as one curse user. You go through his storylines. Once you complete both of his timelines, the stories of other people that you encountered as that guy open up. And then you're like the person who almost killed him but didn't quite. Yeah. And like what's it like if he died earlier? And what's it like as the police officers who stopped him in the park when he was like sneaking in on a conversation? Really good. Lots of good lighting stuff. Like, it'll be a very dark room and you have to rotate your character, and of course the thing is like either 180 degrees like right behind you, or you turn around and it's not behind you, but when you turn back to where you were looking the first time, then it's there. So there's some really good stuff. Also, the police music, like not the first time you see the police, but once you do your first as the police characters, once you're on the beat, the jazz is incredible. I made a specific note of, I don't have the timestamp, but it was such good music. I was so jamming, and I already liked the game, and then when that moment happened, totally sold. Yes. So anybody likes thrillers or like games where there's like some puzzle, or if any of you played like the nonary games, 999, any of those, you will like Paranormicite. I give it a big Spinozone 10 out of 10. I played another game, Pentiment. Is cool too. Okay. Yeah, it's set in the 1500s. You are like a manuscript artist, and the whole game proceeds like it's a manuscript. So every chapter or scene is a page, and the pages will turn, and there are times when, like, to get more info, you'll zoom out of the page, and there'll be like, it'll look like a really old style Bible with calligraphy, and there'll be annotations. There'll be times when the text will have a word misspelled, and then it erases the letter and rewrites the other one. Different kinds of characters have different fonts to reflect their voice. It's cool. It's not action packed.
Did you get Core or Ultimate?
I got No Man's Sky.
No, I'm saying for like which Game Pass did you get?
I think they just call it
I got Game Pass.
Oh, is that how it is?
I think
I guess
yeah.
Core
I didn't
would
know I
only
had
be
choices.
for Xbox itself, right?
Maybe, and then you don't get the online or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I think I got Game Pass PC.
Yeah, Game Pass PC.
Okay.
$1 for the first
right?
X amount. Well, for the first however long, it's $1, which is cool, and then I think it's 10 a month.
Yeah,
and I'll cancel it if I don't like it.
Cool.
Yeah,
what are you playing?
Well, last night played a lot of Smash Brothers. That was fun.
So
went over to Hot Fists bar and lounge and bar.
Oh, his bar and lounge. I see. Is that regulated?
No. It's just bring, BYOB, BYOS for snacks, BYOC
bring your
for
own
controllers.
smash. Bring your own smashing.
Yeah, so we just brought snacks, drinks, and controllers, and we had a little double elimination. We were doing some 4-player Smash, which I can't even remember the last time
Yeah,
I did that.
that is
was
chaos.
crazy.
Yeah.
So we were doing some 2v2v2 and just like the craziest screens with Smash.
Oh,
Ball
6
on and
player?
stuff. No, 8 player. So
Oh,
player.
8 player. Oh,
Four
shit.
four
Oh.
squads of 2.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Team attack is on, so you can kill your buddies and
That's
everything.
crazy.
It was
Goodness.
oh my gosh.
That
it
sounds
was
like a
so-
cluster.
Oh, it was so
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
And then we played like maybe like 6 or 8 rounds of that, and we used the amount of KOs that we got as the seed in our double elimination.
That's
bracket.
cool. That's cool.
It was super cool. It was a lot of fun. So,
Cool. You playing anything on Game Pass this last 2 weeks that's new?
so I started Tales of Arise.
Oh, I've been thinking about that. Was it good?
That's that Bandai Namco
Yeah.
RPG game.
Did you ever play Tales of Symphonia or any of
Yeah,
those?
actually,
Yeah,
I have,
yeah.
So Tales of Arise, the reason why I wanted to pick that up is because I'm trying really hard to make mobile gaming a thing for my life, like on the phone. I don't know if it's like a little bit of a justification for buying, the latest and greatest iPhone, in which it's promising the gaming experience. Because
Sure.
I also got like the backbone that turns it into a PSP.
I'm sure it's a
right?
little bit of multiple things, yeah.
Plus, they just launched the emulators now, right? They allow emulators on their platform.
Cool.
So I'm digging
Apple
into
does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so I'm digging
interesting.
into some like old school GBA games and PSP games and stuff like that. But you guys have to know about Genshin Impact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the game. I've never
Yeah.
played it, but
There's a new one that came out, a new anime that's like a total ripoff, like a Chinese ripoff. It's called Wuthering Waves, but it's actually like it's a ripoff in the best ways because it like does everything that Genshin Impact did, but better. So like the story is better, combat feels a lot more fluid and more options. The gacha system, from what I understand, is a lot more tame. So you can go a lot further without spending dollars or trying to collect characters and stuff like that.
I think a lot of that too is the Chinese government really hates gotcha systems and video games.
Because they hate freedom.
Yeah, freedom to be ripped off.
Freedom
is still
to
freedom.
microtransact as much as I damn well please.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like all these anime games, they're just like little fixes for me until Blue
Yeah.
Protocol comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Because
that's
like
good.
I've been waiting for Blue Protocol for years now, and then they just delayed it again.
Of course they did.
So I was like, well, Tales of Arise could be a cool way to kind of subdue that want or whatever. And
Sure.
it's a cheeky anime story or whatever.
Yeah.
But the combat's pretty decent.
That's nice.
So-
That's nice.
And the first boss was pretty challenging, so that was a lot of fun.
So could you say that Blue Protocol has been giving you blue balls?
Blue MMO balls, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, big
yeah.
time.
Big time. BBB.
Well, I have
Big blue
played
balls.
4 new games.
Yes, which is huge for you.
Yes.
That's more new games than you've played the entire
big.
season
This is
2.
what happens when you retire from League of Legends.
And
Aaron.
I bought 3 of them out of the 4 that I tried. So
Wow.
pretty wild.
You are
the
a
first one
renaissance
I
man.
played. So Zombro has been pushing me to try some new stuff. So Zombro is huge into puzzle games, like unbelievably so. So I had heard of Talos Principle before. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Talos Principle. It's a very popular puzzle game. I played that for 30, 45 minutes. It was okay. It was a little too mechanical for my taste.
That's not the symbol one you were telling me about, or that is
No,
the
this is the next one. I'll tell you.
got
Talos
it.
Principle is it's just a really interesting aesthetic. The game is, but like the levels that I played, there are robots that are like you get too close to them, they'll electrocute you, or there's like miniguns on these turrets, and then there's electric fences. So you use these neutralizing turrets to aim at them, and so you got to like while they're all moving around and stuff, you got to figure out like, oh, if I take this energy shield down, now the ball goes further away, so now I have time to run. So it's more of like a mechanical, like timing mechanical
yeah.
puzzle.
Right, because you get to do a little bit of platforming with it.
Yeah. It's not a platformer in the slightest,
Sure.
but like it has some of that. Like, okay, if I go here and I go here and I use this here, so you're figuring that out. Zombro was telling me there are way different types of mechanics than just that in the future. But yeah, so it was a pretty interesting game. It didn't really grab me. It kind of felt to me like an escape room with just tons of locks everywhere for no reason.
Yeah.
He would probably cringe, and he's piping hot red just hearing me say that, but whatever.
You'll do that anyway.
The second game I played was his game of the year 2023 and was utterly blew me away, and I just blew an hour on it today straight, which normally I don't play a game that long unless it's League. I'll just hop around watching YouTube. But it's called Chants of Sennaar.
That's right.
Sennaar. So it's a language-based game. And it's totally absurd. So the very first puzzle, which anyone can get, so I'm not spoiling anything, is you come up to this door and you see 3 glyphs on the door. And the door is unlocked, so all you have to do is just pull a lever and the door opens. So when the lever goes up, it goes to the top glyph. And when it goes down, it goes to the bottom glyph. And then there's a middle glyph that does nothing. And so inside your head, you know that the top one means open. And the bottom one means shut. And the middle must mean door. So like open door, close, or shut door, right? Mm-hmm. So you fill those out onto the glyph. And now when someone speaks or you read, that's now what you see in the game. You see what you wrote.
So you start only seeing symbols.
You only see symbols. But then when you figure out what they mean, you see the symbol plus the words.
Yeah, what you wrote though.
You wrote though,
right.
Exactly. So the
if you're
game
wrong,
has a great
it punishes you.
It does, but the game has a great feedback system.
Okay.
Because it's sort of checkpoint to make sure. So when you first write in there, you'll say like open, and then you see like a question mark, because like you think it could mean open.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but then it has like these check mark books that you do, and you actually have to know what these words mean to put them in the right order. So you have to be
like
somewhat correct
type of thing.
Not even necessarily that, but you would have to know by the words to put them in the correct order, or else the book will deny it.
Okay.
So you can be relatively sure that you're correct, and once you've done that, it locks it in. So that's what you're using now for the rest of the game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So the interesting part, though, the complexity to it, what I realized is you have to really think about what you're going to name it, though.
Right.
Because open is pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
But what's the difference between close or shut?
Right.
Right? Or
you have to understand the own syntax that you're building.
Right. So like that was pretty interesting. Or like a kid came up to me and I figured out he's saying hello, but I put greetings. Mm-hmm. But then someone else said hi to me using the same symbol.
Greetings.
And then someone else said hello using the same symbol, and I wrote greetings.
Mm-hmm. So you see greetings everywhere.
So right. So it's like it's pretty interesting because just the way the grammar works is pretty interesting. And then I met these guards that haven't figured out any of their language, completely separate language. Huh. So you gotta, so
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, some of the stuff has confused me, and I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Right?
Like some of the words are like doubling up, so it's like the same glyph twice in a row. So it's like me, find me. And I'm like, I don't know why it's doing that yet. I gotta figure that out. Yeah. And I also don't know why.
So
the language,
the same glyph can mean multiple things is what it's teaching you.
I'm frustrated about that as well. I actually don't like that because I feel
English
like
does that.
I feel like
English does do that.
I feel like it's too early in the game for it to do that to me. So like when it first started out, I had 5
That's
glyphs.
how it's a puzzle, right?
Well, I had 5 glyphs
and
had 3 available to me. And then I walked down a little bit, just looked at some pictures, and now I had 30 glyphs to figure out.
Wow.
But when they talk to you, you just see the glyphs. So now in your head, you got to remember which one are which, and now I got to go find them, and it's actually tedious.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's an exclamation point. They're wild. They look like they look wild. So, So yeah, I spent an hour on that.
It allows you. Well, I want to say
it's hard because
it forces you to do your own task management too. Which is a little difficult.
Well, I feel like I'm overthinking the game as well. But like, I spent about 15 minutes. I did it fully on stream too, so you could go and watch me
on Vindy on Twitch.
Yeah, on my EGL underscore Vindy.
Mm-hmm. EGL underscore Vindy. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. So you could watch me struggle with. I thought. I'm taking directions from this guy, and he's in motion, right? Yeah. But then when I'm when I'm doing the book, they're all pictures. And so I thought he was pointing like this, even though he's pointing like there's two pictures. He points this way and then he points like this. But he's pointing at himself.
Oh.
But he doesn't bend his wrist.
Right.
And so I just didn't pick that up.
So
And so it messed me up for
like past his
No, it's
floor?
just this.
Oh, God.
But he's actually pointing at him. Now, intuitively, it made sense as soon as I saw it. I'm like, oh, my gosh, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
But it actually messed me up for like 15 minutes.
Sure.
But I was annoyed. I was like annoyed by that. That
I
is not
mean-
like, oh, I figured it out. I'm like, oh, that was stupid. That could have been more.
direct.
I don't want to know if the
But
game.
riddles aren't supposed to always be obvious, though.
Sometimes I need to know if the game is doing a mechanic or not, though. Like, so it's like, how do I just want to like search it up so I just know. So like one thing this game does really well is if you hold down the scroll wheel, it tells you everything you can interact with instead of you just having to guess, which is big. Like those to me, I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, so if I click this. That is boring to me. That is not fun to me.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that game's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Beautiful art style. I can't wait to play it more. But an hour is about my limit for something like that. Then I just get.
But you said you had two others too.
Yep. I bought the first Space Marine. Only played 20 minutes of this. I totally understand why everyone says it feels clunky. Like when it came out, it felt clunky, and it does not hold up to 2024 control standards.
That's Warhammer Space Marine.
Yeah, it's built like it's like the action combat ones, like Batman, the Arkham games, stuff like that. Except like you have to be facing the direction you're slashing. He will not turn around and like if there's someone behind you, you can't do it smoothly. So it feels very clunky.
Yeah.
And also, like, the gun reticle is huge. And so, like, you only have 5 rounds for your beginning bolt gun, and only 2 out of the 5 are going to hit anything.
Nice. Is that the prequel to the game that you
Space
shared?
Marine 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Space Marine 1, and it's old. I mean,
And don't play it, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying don't play it. I got it for, like, $5.
Got it.
So
don't
I'm not
waste your
sure if
time or money. Yeah.
I'm definitely not running through the game. It's going to be too much.
But like
I'll
if
play it
you're
a
bored
little
of
bit
several
more.
other things and you're
I
just
mean,
like, oh yeah,
Based
I'm
on the
curious.
trailer for
I just
2, it doesn't seem like you're going to need to play 1.
Not at all. But I just wanted to. I want to know. Okay, where are they coming from?
Yeah.
What's the vibe of this? So
Get
I
your feet
know.
wet.
And then the other game that I'm absolutely loving.
Yeah?
I've already put 3 hours into this game. Is Bolt Gun.
Bolt gun?
Yeah, Bolt Gun.
Yeah.
Also a Warhammer game. It's made after the first Doom. It's complete pixels.
Nice.
You know, the shader, like where if you turn around a body, the body turns with you because it's 2D. It's like a floating 2D texture set.
Right.
It's amazing. Yeah, you feel like a Space Marine in it, and it's super goofy because it's super retro and stuff, and you move like Space Marines move in the lore. Like you hear, like you have weight and momentum to you in a pixel game.
Fun.
You can run so fast that if you are like max speed, the lower level enemies, you just crush them just by walking.
Oh, nice.
It's wild. Like all your guns, even on the hardest difficulty, one shot kills like all the grunts because it's like lore accurate. Yeah, it's badass. And then I'm just sitting there spamming like heretics will die, purge them with fire. Like there's a taunt button. And I haven't even went through them all yet. I swear I've done like 30 taunts and I haven't heard the same one over again yet. He's just sitting there, your blood for me, and he's just like the guy you're playing is bloodthirsty, just for the emperor, like die heretic.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and it's got like full animations of his hands and everything. It's so sick. I'm just going around. I'm killing like bad guy Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, and then I just taunt them with their death. It's like your death is not enough. It's just awesome.
Nice.
I get into it. And it's a retro pixel game.
Yeah.
So,
But speaking of heretics, there's actually a Valorant team named Team Heretics, and this team has actually made it to the playoffs in Masters Shanghai, which is exciting. The first of these, the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, the quarterfinals, happen on Thursday, May 30th, and then the next 2 happen on Friday, May 31st. There is the 2 American teams, because America first are the ones we care about. G2 plays Paper X. They're going to get crushed. Paper X is amazing. They're a Singaporean team. Their motto is W Gaming, W being the forward button.
Right.
Anytime you
W
think
gaming.
that the smart move is to like pause, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they just
they go forward. Yeah. Like their best clips and their best moments, and like even their failures are just awesome because
They go out with style.
they play the game how they want everyone to play the game. And it's just incredible. Also, their coach, Alex, is the most physical coach on coach cams because he gets so frustrated with his players. It's a double bind because if you're playing Valorant, a tactical shooter with W Gaming, you are going.
Yeah.
And that means you are making a lot of snap judgments, and some of them are very dumb. But these players are so skilled that they'll get away with it a lot. But when they don't, it looks stupid. And he once caused a technical pause because he banged the desk so hard that like his computer, like something important on his computer, DC'd, and they had to pause and like yeah. So it's funny.
That has a huge mental warfare effect. If you know you're facing against this team that is like. Every round, we had to expect the unexpected, but we know the unexpected it's going to be unexpected. Yeah. That puts people on their toes and takes up brain space.
It does.
You know what I mean?
They're
trash talking with their gameplay.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they're doing.
No, if I'm showing Valorant to anyone who doesn't know Valorant, and I'm going to show them a game, I'm going to show them a Paper X game, because until you appreciate things at a tactical level. Right. My guess is you're going to like the exciting gunplay and people going in guns blazing, and nobody does that more than Paper X. Anyway, they're playing one of our American teams, so our second seed, so I have no faith in G2.
Heretics is EU.
Heretics is EU. Yes.
They have a prestigious League of Legends team back in the day.
Yeah. And the Heretics team was cool. They had some let's see, they're a Spanish org, and the first Masters was Masters Madrid, and they got all the way there, so it was like hype. The other American team, 100 Thieves, Go 100 Thieves, plays Foot, and 100 Thieves is thrilled about that. Foot, FUT, Turkish team, plausibly the weakest, but are like good at sometimes. They make what look like really bad comps. What seem really bad comps, they sometimes make them look good. Like they'll play no initiator comps, like 0 flashes, but they'll actually get away with it. Crazy. 100 Thieves was pumped. Boostio was pumped. Boostio, IGL of 100 Thieves was thrilled. They pulled Foot. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the exciting Masters Shanghai stuff with Valorant. It's coming up. The 30th and 31st of May is quarterfinals. So go America. If G2 beats Paper X, huge upset. Lots to be excited about. Don't put your money on them, though. If you're betting, put it on 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves got a good early draw, and they are cracked this year.
Wish I could bet on Esports.
We can bet on Esports.
Can we?
I'll bet you a soda.
Oh.
2 sodas. 3 6
You guys were freaking out about Valorant Mobile.
Did you actually watch it?
I did watch that. They have so many additional features that normal does not. Like they have the MVP.
MVP halfway through the match and at the end.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which is looking dope.
Yeah. So it's like Call of Duty style MVP.
Yeah.
Looks like.
I also just can't.
Ranges.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Get
So you
on.
can set
ranges
up
are so
certain scenarios.
Yeah.
To practice in the range.
But this is only going to China,
maps.
though, right?
Right.
Is mobile only China?
It's right. The demo is China. Maybe it's released in China, but
closed right now.
Yeah.
Mostly China players have access to it.
I just don't understand what the appeal of playing a shooter on a phone is. I mean, it's just like to me,
why do you go on Facebook with your phone when you could go on computer?
Right. That's the thing.
I have the exact same experience.
And
you'll have the exact same experience with the shooter.
You think so?
Who are they targeting?
But like, come on, man, that's the idea. That's the appeal. That's the hope.
Coming from you, I expected a much better straw man argument.
Okay,
They're not
I
targeting
suck
you.
both ways.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I don't even know. I don't know who they're targeting at all.
The youths.
They're targeting people that don't want to buy a PC.
Yes,
but like, those same people want to play on a phone?
They might want to try it. Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
If they're doing other stuff with their phone and they're sick of TikTok,
I'm also feeling the same way about like Wild Rift, League of Legends, but on the phone. Yeah. Like that has a little bit in my hand, just a tad bit more justification over a shooter. But even then, that still feels to me like absolutely terrible. These types of games to me are so input dependent that like phones just don't give
You
you.
can see some people that can play with a touch.
I've seen some of those crazy PUBG players who use tablets and they have like their hands like this,
Yeah.
and they move. And I'm like, that is nuts.
Now here's
But like that is such an infinitesimal.
That's because
small,
that's
like,
the pro scene,
Yeah.
right? That's the pro mobile scene.
Yeah.
maybe
There's a huge
Yeah.
amount of people.
No, I get
that don't
that.
wanna
I
be
just-
pro
I'm just
that
amazed.
still
maybe
love that experience.
maybe
just
here's
amazed
an
that-
argument for it. When I go on my desktop and I log into Valorant, I know I'm going to blow chunks. I know that I am maybe I'll get in the top 3 of my team, but I'm usually going to be bottom frag, second bottom frag, or just like chipping in as my controller agent. I am not great at this game, and I don't put enough time in to be great. But there are some times when I have a Valorant. I need a Valorant fix. Like I want it straight into my veins, and I want it straight in my veins, but I know I'm going to have a rough time of it when I look at my scoreboard at the end and I'm super frustrated. If I'm going to be bad anyway, and I'm playing on a phone with a bunch of other people on a phone, and I have the excuse of like, well, it's input dependent, but like I'm not good at all the inputs. I might be able to have more fun on Valorant Mobile than I can have on Valorant Desktop.
And it's
So
like
basically, you're
first to
saying
7.
skill issue.
Yeah, but like reverse.
Yeah.
Okay. Like skill feature.
Also, I mean, think about like a bunch of office workers, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I use my phone for,
Yeah,
is on lunch, at work.
Playing with other people.
Playing
Physically,
other people, right? In the office
Yeah.
or even just online.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
true.
I use my phone for my primary gaming on lunch. You know, I actually prefer my phone over my Switch right now.
You know how I've had to leave because I've had to like get somebody toilet paper sometime? You know, like I've had to physically go downstairs and like gone AFK for a round and ruin a game because somebody buzzed. I bring my phone. I'll just move myself so I'm not AFK. I'll still do the thing, but I'll do.
I don't
and then
think
maybe
Valorant Mobile is going to be crossplay
It's not
with
sharing.
PC.
It's not like TFT.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like if I'm playing. Right? I could
Oh,
have, me personally, when I'm in
I
a
see.
situation where I might have a more
Gotcha.
interruptible evening, Valorant Mobile could be more manageable.
Yeah.
And another news headline, to the surprise of absolutely zero people, Faker is the first person ever being inducted into the League of Legends Hall of Fame.
Should we do a slow clap and stand, or just
No.
let them imagine that?
It doesn't
Imagine
come
a
out till
standing-
later in June, I guess, but they've been teasing it now for weeks.
Yeah,
with
it's going to be a
different-
whole ceremony.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
so
sick.
he's getting a one-of-one Mercedes-Benz.
Oh.
Yep.
Nice.
Completely, it's the Benz is customized to the skin line for the champions that they're giving Faker.
That's kind of very cool.
And Faker is
Insane.
reportedly will be getting 25% of all revenue
From that skin line?
from all the entire skin line,
Well,
which is estimated to be worth more than
any other skin line?
it's be worth more than like his entire
Oh, current earnings?
ever, probably in the first year.
Damn.
Yeah, he's set
So
for life.
I mean, he's already been set for life, but now he actually might start reaching like some of the best all-time NFL earner or like soccer player.
He can
levels.
like manage.
You got to think about it. Like this is his merch deal.
He can
Except
compete with Samsung Airs
There's
now.
nothing. There's nothing for him to produce. It's just
Yeah.
digital.
Well, and off
Legacy.
of this, he's going to have a ton of different sponsorships.
Yeah. So so this is going to be a pretty big deal. What's even crazier is who's next. I think that's also a really big thing. And
Who is next?
I don't know. It's probably going to be Uzi.
Well, and who decided it too? Like,
I think the first three are pretty like universally everyone's okay with.
Yeah.
I mean, Faker is obvious, right?
Faker is completely obvious. It's not even. It's like Faker, and then Uzi would be right here, and then you got other people. Well, it'd be like Faker, Uzi, and then everyone else.
Okay.
Faker's been called a lot of things like unkillable demon king and stuff like that. Like when Uzi was playing, Uzi is a Chinese AD carry. When Uzi was playing, the second best AD carry in the world at the time, said, "When I faced Uzi, I made no mistakes, and I still lost.
Yeah.
Upon reviewing gameplay, I made 0 mistakes, and we still lost the game."
Right.
Like
That
it
kind of
was just
player.
like, yeah, Uzi was at when they were both in their peak. Uzi was considered like equal to Faker, but obviously Faker just his legacy just continued.
He continued, which is part of his greatness, right? Like
Yeah.
the ability to maintain peak
for 11 years.
Right.
is nuts.
Yeah.
Is
So,
nuts. In esports, holy crap.
Right.
I will say though that like even we just had MSI and Faker was grabbing his wrist a lot. He's had a hand injury since last year. And I'm kind of curious if this is done for him. He says it's not, but like with Hall of Fame
Wouldn't
coming,
it be a good time?
he just won. I think he's only
but-
27.
To retire in his prime and just not tarnish it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Just end with the Hall of Fame
Yeah,
legacy.
yeah.
And then just he could still play the game.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
I hope
Like
he does that.
my favorite, the best Age of Empires 2 player. Now, Age of Empires is much older than League of Legends, so there have been, but currently, right now, essentially, it's tied between Doubt, who's been playing for 24 years, and the Viper, who's been playing also for like 20 years, but the Viper is much younger. But like the Viper has his whole arm just completely like tied, strapped. Like, you know, he has to play with like full cast slings, all this stuff just to, you know, and like he's millionaire. So like his doctors are like, okay, if you're going to keep playing, this is how you got to play. But it's like, man, would we as gamers ever be okay seeing pros go up on the stage with like, you know, raps and all this type of stuff? Like Age of Empires players, they just play LAN. They play online even for their big tournaments. They don't really do LANs very often. So, but we don't see that in League of Legends because everyone only has like a 3 to 4 year run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty interesting. I wonder how people would feel about starting to see, you know, all these esports players like, you know, with like braces on their backs because they're sitting so much and wraps around their hands. I mean, we already see some of those. Have you seen some of those? I don't know what they're called, but they put them on
and they
on
like
their
pull-
arm.
yeah.
Yeah, that is to keep their like wrists at a certain level.
Okay.
It pulls
Pulls it
like
back.
their muscles back.
I got
yeah.
you. I got you.
So like obviously these are interesting things. I mean, we've had professional StarCraft players who have the highest APM play for a decade, but like their arthritis now is like unbearable.
Yeah.
Like they've had to have multiple surgeries. So things like that are pretty interesting to me. So I would actually be happy if Faker retired just for the fact that I don't want him to have to deal with that. But it's his choice and
Especially with being like financially free for the rest of
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's the point
the
of
dream.
deteriorating your body?
yeah. So
What
For
you
real.
already accomplished. And he seems like the type of guy, though, where he could hang it up and then just pursue something else.
he wants to be a caster.
Yeah, good,
there you go.
good,
Yep.
good.
Perfect.
That's,
I mean, he's such a
that is the
gentleman.
way.
He's like the best role model you could have ever asked
Right,
for.
right.
He rarely ever
They do
complains
exist.
about anything, and when he does, like
Everyone
everyone
listens.
takes it. Even Riot takes it very seriously if he complains about something.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, he's basically perfect. He's like the perfect role model for the League of Legends pro scene. So
I want to have a daughter so that she can marry him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Probably
Also,
not
we
marry
got
whoever
the-
you want, daughter.
We got the Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2
Yes.
multiplayer reveal.
Nice.
That maybe we should do that. Maybe we can get some licenses for that, and
That'd be
that could be
cool.
something we
That
actually
would be
stream
cool.
the three
I
of
would
us
love that.
running around.
That'd be cool.
I'd love
Because
that.
it's completely co-op, looks amazing. I mean, that game is going to be such a beast to run, but I'm ready. Spoiler alert, I've actually been talking with Sean about, for the Appleton location, just upgrading all of these computers and new monitors too.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see if
Cutting
that's in the
edge.
budget.
Cutting edge.
Yeah. We'll be going 4th gen.
Nice.
4th gen NVIDIA and 14th gen Intel.
Cool.
So
So
if that's the case, that would
yeah.
be sweet.
So what do we think about the feature, the closer? Can I?
Did you even tell Forrest about this?
Yeah, I mentioned
okay.
it briefly.
All right.
So here's my.
Yeah, you don't want to do it anymore, huh?
Well, no. I'm. Well, what I don't want to do often is watch VODs. This is my problem. and I need a kind of therapy that maybe Vinny could offer. Yeah. Maybe we can find out what my problem is. But here's what my problem is. So Masters Shanghai, lit Valorant event, right? Huge. It's in China, tons of viewership in China. Like, crowds are crazy, best teams in the world right now. Right. The first game of every day so far, of these last days, has been 4 a.m. My
China
time.
viewing is rough, right?
Second game is at 7. Now, if I were committed and I got to bed real early, I could make that 7. I could. I have not. And so I wanted to be able to keep up with Valorant Masters Shanghai like I did with Masters Madrid. Masters Madrid was a much more reasonable time frame. I was able to keep up with that pretty well. But
I want to interject just real quick. When is World's Grand Finals for
that's an exceptional question that I would have to look up.
Okay. Because when that happens, I do it for
Watch
League of Legends,
yeah.
but let's do a big, we'll just invite everyone on.
Is it in Los Angeles? No,
Wait, they're doing it here
Is it in,
on American time?
I feel like it's not now that I say that. Let me see what the Valorant
If it's in America, that would
Champions
be
Tour.
sweet.
Valorant Champions Tour. Valorant Champions.
But yeah, watching Riot broadcasts from China time zones, very, very rough for us.
I wouldn't even see what's even the point of doing that, like torturing yourself.
Well, I think that's what David is trying to.
Yeah.
He wants
Seoul.
Oh, they're going to be in Seoul?
It's going to be in Seoul. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
no, my issue is that I want to watch the games live, and I have so much less motivation to watch it once I know it's happened and it is a VOD.
You would rather just go look at the score?
Kinda, but that's the thing. Like like I'm put into this discomfort. I'm like, why am I the kind of person who can't enjoy the VOD? Because I'm not the kind of person who's in chat with my other live chatters being like, Kappa PogChamp, right? I don't do that. I'm watching by myself, not interacting. But there's something about the feeling of live.
Right. It's still a shared experience.
Yeah.
When it is live.
Yeah.
Rather than watching a VOD. Because as soon as you start watching a VOD, it's an individual experience.
It's outdated. And I can rationalize to myself, or try to, like I have, that, okay, I'm just sharing it later. Like I'm having a piece of the wedding cake that was brought home.
Enjoyed it. That's
yes.
the thing.
And I can try to preserve this for myself by
that's
not.
a good analogy, actually. Is bringing home the celebration cake to eat by yourself.
I'm sure it's great cake, but you are not in the reception room. Even if you sat in the corner, you were listening to the music, you were, watching the bride throw a bouquet or whatever. Yeah. But I want to be able to see these games. So right before this morning, today, 4 a.m., 7 a.m. were the last games of the Swiss stage. That decided the playoff bracket for Masters Shanghai. And I was not going to come in to this podcast and not at least be able to say that G2 plays Paper X and 100 Thieves plays Foot, right? I wasn't about to do that. Sure. But in saying that, I committed myself to spoiling who dropped out. I now know that FPX is not in the playoffs, and Leviathan, my boys, Leviathan, are also not in the playoffs. Now I know that Heretics beat FPX 2-1, and I know that Foot beat Leviathan 2-1. And earlier today, I even had some time, and I started watching that FPX.
All the VODs through?
Not all of it, but I started watching it. I was most of the way through the first map, and I was like, maybe this is good enough that I can seal the deal and really finish this later. But then it's I got to say something today about what the playoffs are.
Right.
And now I know. And so, Vindy, you are a man who watches VODs, and this seemingly does not impact your happiness for the worse.
I don't even watch full VODs. I only watch highlight videos.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even watch the full VODs? Oh, when you told me you that's what you do, watch VODs, I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a VOD, but it's just a highlight VOD.
Yeah.
So the average League of Legends matches or professional matches between 30 and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't care enough. I want to play the game. So the difference between me is anytime I'm watching the game, I just want to go play it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it. Now,
anytime I play the game, I just want to watch it because I feel bad at playing it with my skill level, and I'm wouldn't it be so nice to experience this game at peak form?
Yeah, I don't vicariously play through the players when I watch.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so typically, I'm only gonna watch a full VOD if everyone on Reddit is like, "This is one of the greatest series ever watched," and a highlight video is not gonna give you all the nuance of decision making.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll watch that, but that doesn't even happen every year. And I will always watch grand finals live, no matter what time it is. I mean, just last year we stayed up until we didn't even start our first game till 3 a.m. and that was the first game or however it was, you know. And I do that because it's like I knew that last year's finals was going to kind of be a blowout because the real battle happened to third seed was the real just because they were third seed, they were the real like contender for the title. So when Team 1 beat them, I'm like, oh, they're just going to wipe. And yeah, it was like a 3-0. It was fast 3-0, you know. But I'm still going to do it, you know. I'm still going to watch it because it's grand finals. And sometimes I'll watch extremely storied, dramatic fights. Like anytime G2 faces any of the Chinese teams, it's a big deal. So I'll watch the highlight videos of those. But I don't even watch highlight videos of regular season games. I just don't care. I'm not invested enough. The play is not that interesting to me. Sometimes I'll watch highlight videos if they pop up of regular season games, but normally I don't even watch that. Yeah. So I'm a playoff guy because to me, regular season is just to get to the playoffs. And that's what they are. But like, I just don't care about the storyline of watching them in regular. Now, if it were an international regular thing, I'll watch every highlight. So MSI or Worlds, the two international events we have, I watch all the highlight videos for every game. So I at least I get acquainted with these players. But yeah, I typically won't actually watch a full game of League of Legends ever. I also don't watch Twitch streamers play games unless I'm going to bed.
I often don't. I think I used to.
Like K3 Soju, the TFT streamer, Chris and I used to watch him every night for like 3 years straight. We kind of slowed down on that now, but yeah, we watch him like every night, just play the game, you know. But like, we would never do that in the day. You know, I just don't care. I'd rather just go play the game. So would she, you know. So yeah. So I don't know. I think it's hard because if you really are looking down at your motivation, it's like I don't even think I play at a level good enough to enjoy it, and I'd rather.
Sometimes I enjoy it. I will say sometimes I like. It's less than 50% of the time that I feel like this was better than watching my favorite team play whatever game it was that week.
It's so interesting because I don't think I've ever continually played a game that said, wow, I suck at this. I just don't play games that I suck at, period. I've never enjoyed a game that I wasn't good at.
See, I like playing games that have an I like really good esports. So I liked Overwatch esports. I like Valorant esports, and I still want to keep up with playing the game often enough so that I feel more connected to the thing that they're playing. But like for me, it's just like, okay, I suck at football, but when the Packers are doing well, I'll watch that game. I haven't
You
played.
watch the Packer game by yourself though?
Not as much.
See, that's my sentiment when it comes to live broadcasting. Is that it's a social experience?
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I watched Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
I think except for last year, but I watch it every year because I'm always going over to someone's place.
Exactly.
Like that's why it's the most watched thing because it's now such a cultural, social thing that you just do.
Yeah.
It's almost like a holiday.
Yeah,
it really is.
For real.
It really is.
I mean,
And
it gets
it's like,
a lot more press than several.
I feel like
holidays.
we don't really do it. Like I don't know many people who watch. What's soccer's thing called?
The
World Cup.
Yeah, I don't know many people who just go to the World Cup because it's the World Cup, at least in America. I'm sure everywhere else they do because it's,
there are a decent number of
America.
people in
I've
America,
always
but still,
wanted to go to the World Cup, but
Do you watch it with friends every year?
no.
But you do for the Super Bowl, pretty much.
I watch the highlights for the World Cup because I don't have anyone in my life
Okay, yeah.
to watch it live.
That's what I'm trying to say, though. Like I don't know of people that are just like, yeah, we're all going to go watch the World Cup at Jimmy's house.
When I lived
But it's
in
like,
Nashville,
everyone's going to go see the Super Bowl at Jimmy's house.
when I lived in
'cause it's
Nashville,
like,
there were World Cup people. There were like several, So
I'm sure
some
they
of it is the
exist. I'm just
pockets,
saying the precedent is you're 10 times, 15 times even more likely to be invited to a Super Bowl party than you are a World Cup party in America.
Oh yeah, right. Because
In
it
spots,
is the culture.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the cultural sport,
Yeah, I've never been invited to watch the World Cup in my life. I don't even know
have
when
any
the
of
World
those
Cup
friends.
happens.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But I've had, and everyone knows I don't watch traditional sports at all. And I play basketball and I don't even watch it. I do not watch any basketball at all. Period. And that's the only traditional sport I play, which is kind of funny.
I've watched the Milwaukee Bucks with friends at the bar. I've watched March Madness games at the with friends at the bar, but that's the only time. That's the thing is for me, like live broadcast, whether it's esports or traditional sports, it's like if I don't have anybody to watch it with, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna either go play the game.
I mean,
or I'm
it's
gonna
so
go watch
much fun watching
something.
stuff with other people, like you're saying, like
It is.
that social presence.
With my circle right now, it regularly feels like they're just on it, the day that
You're the
I'm able
Valorant
to
guy?
do it. I don't have anybody else who would watch this with me.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed watching the games with you at my house that one time because
You kind of watched it.
but I was more watching you because you were so animated.
You were watching,
and having fun,
and there was stuff on your phone
But
too.
then again, like that's a social experience for you, though.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
100%.
That's what you're there for. It's just
Yeah, I just want to hang out. I'm just like,
Right.
yo, just come
Yeah.
vibe.
See, like for
exactly.
me, like if it's a good game, I am fine. Like if it's a good live game, I am, and nobody in my
impressed.
circle is going to watch it with me. Then they can go do whatever else they're doing. I am watching 100 Thieves play this game
Yeah, yeah.
because
I
it
get
is.
that sometimes with the Packers. It's like we're at the Packers party or whatever. We got friends over, and
You feel like you're one of the only guys watching the game.
not necessarily, but I get into it to the point where it's just like, I'm not socializing anymore. I'm so in tuned into what's happening because either somebody's really on fire, or it's a game that matters for the Packers of getting into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden I'm a little more invested, but then also I think it's just you want to be part of like the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's really fun, is to be like, oh, yeah, I watched that when that happened.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
that
yeah,
history
yeah,
being
yeah.
made, so to speak. Because there are a lot of
And
opportunities
no one
for
says
that.
I was there 8 hours after the moment happened. Nobody
It's funny.
says
It's
that.
funny. I have a friend whose uncle gets so intense during the Packer games that no one comes over to watch them with him anymore.
Oh, that's
And he kind of has to like go watch them by himself,
Like-
oh, what was that? It was a flag.
Right.
Just gets like explosive with goods and bads,
Right,
and it's like to the
right.
point where it's like I don't want to be around that.
Right. His emotion
He's
is
explained to me that
riding
people
too
used to
much
come,
on
but
it.
just over the years, he's just gotten way more parasocial with the fact that other people are playing the game and it's not him.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's like, bro, it doesn't. I don't know. It matters, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like when I watched, it's interesting because like when I watched my favorite player in League of Legends, Double Left, win his first title, I was jumping up and down in my living room.
Yeah.
And I was so excited and stuff like that. And I tell people, I watched him he got a pentakill to win it all, which is like, the thing in League. And I'm like, I was there when that happened, and people go, oh, you were actually at Madison Square Garden? And I'm like, oh, no. See, but in my head, I was there.
Right.
Because I was
you were
so
watching in
into
that
it.
moment. Yeah.
And it's funny because some people will go further than you and be like, if I'm not watching it in person, I'm not doing
that's
it at
true
all.
too.
You know?
That's true.
And I realized that most people, like I was thinking that I'm there because I never watched the games like that, So like for me, that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I really felt like I was there. So
If you've ever been there for anything, you were there for. Or
I was there for
any
Double
sport.
Lips.
Yeah.
Well,
win
you always
over.
talk about
I mean, it was a
Double Lips.
literal anime arc. Best AD carry to never win anything.
Yeah.
Versus the team, the biggest team owner rivalry ever. TSM versus CLG. They hated each other. And the fans hated each other more than anything. And TSM was winning everything, and CLG won nothing. And then you just have Double Lift taking it all and getting a pentakill to close out the series. I mean, it's just like it's literally scripted. Like it's like you will do this, we will make sure that they do this, and you will. Yeah,
You know what I think my favorite I was there for it moment was, even though nobody else was with me in esports, was I was there when Shanghai Dragons broke goats in Overwatch. We've talked a little bit about goats. Like there was a time before roll lock was introduced, before 2 supports, 2 tanks, and 2 DPS. There was a 3 tank, 3 support meta that
Stale.
took everything.
boring.
Yep, and like that is some call that like the beginning of the end of Overwatch.
Yep.
Like there was just so little balancing going
definitely
on.
didn't
It was so
help.
still. It did not. It helped nothing. It was like there was a 2-year period where no other character was introduced, and the character that did get introduced didn't change anything. And so everyone was just committed to being goats. And then there was this one point where you could like get rid of Diva and run a Sombra instead. And it's like, oh, are they going to run goats or Sombra goats? Is it going to be almost identical, or is there going to be an EMP instead of a self-destruct?
Finally, some sort of change.
And
but sir, you're still thirsty. It doesn't matter. Change.
And right before they instituted roll lock, right before, the Shanghai Dragons, who in the very first season had been the losingest team of all of professional sports.
They broke the code.
Right. They did a one tank. I can't remember if it was 2 support or 1 support and 3 or 4 DPS. And that one tank was Wrecking Ball, and Wrecking Ball had gotten no play during GOATS at all. It's like a character who just goes off by himself. He's got like a grappling hook, and he goes in, and then he like runs around, plays health packs. And it was insane. It was the coolest thing. It was like the Israelites.
Your arms are tingling.
Dude, I'm literally getting
goosebumps.
goosebumps remembering this. It was like the Israelites after the 40 years in the desert, dude. I was there during GOATS, and I slogged along.
That's awesome.
And then I saw it.
Funny enough, the best thing about GOATS for me was League of Legends players backing off of the balance team of Riot. Being
That's hilarious.
Being like, we sure do bitch a lot. It's nice to get bi-weekly patches.
Yes.
And some of those patches are just massive, and they're just, it's just patch 14.12. It's like, whoa, this is one of the largest patches in League history. No, this is just a bi-weekly year, 14.12. They decided
that stuff. God, how I wished some days that Riot made it instead of Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, that's what Valorant is that in a sense.
There's hope. There's Marvel Rivals.
There's hope.
Dude, there's fucking Deadlock by Valve.
True.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the genre is getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
MOBA
No time on this.
shooters are here.
Yeah. No time now. Next time I want
I'm
to talk
glad
about
I didn't
Deadlock.
pay $20 for that gigantic game. Cause
Yeah, it's so sad.
YOLO.
There was a YouTube video that popped up on my feed too the other day where it's just like the second death of Gigantic or Gigantic.
I gotta watch
it's like,
that.
as soon as I played it, I was just like, look, I'm happy that you guys were liking it, but this game does not have it.
It was a precursor of what is to come.
Yeah,
right? Because we were having a lot of fun with it, but yeah, we need a game where there is a bunch of love and money behind it.
Polish. That game is very rough to me on the eyes. I expect more.
It is rough.
Money
these
brings
days.
polish. So
It does.
hopefully
Polish also
NetEase
brings money.
takes care of Marvel Rivals, because I'm actually more excited for Marvel Rivals than I am.
That is the most.
Deadlock.
That is the most just
But
cheesiest
In the
looking game.
last 2-week period,
Marvel.
the first
I love
Marvel
Marvel.
Rivals tournament went
I
on.
really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like Overwatch lore more than I'm committed to any Marvel or superhero.
Yeah.
I was a weeb boy. Hayao Miyazaki is my fantasy.
So what if there was a huge like anime MOBA?
If there were a MOBA with all characters in the Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli universe,
I don't think he would ever be like a.
No, I don't think so either. But if there were, I would throw my entire
I
wallet.
could see like a show and jump one.
Wait for him to die.
That's plausible.
and
I could possibly
then
do it.
The estate will be sold, and it'll happen.
Dude, if
All
I
right.
could play as Nausicaa.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
Thanks for sticking with us in our.
This is a short
70%.
episode.
Short
It just-
episode,
it is what it
70%.
is.
It's a
a treat.
holiday episode.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
a
it's a
holiday
holiday
episode.
episode.
Exactly.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day. Shout out to the vets, all you vets watching.
Yep. My dad did 24 years Navy.
No.
You guys have military?
Both my
Families?
grandpas served,
Nice.
but I don't remember how long.
Yeah.
They both passed, and they didn't talk about it while they were alive. So
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
My
All right.
yeah.
Thank you much. We'll see you guys.